At just 15 years old, I had fought in the greatest war mankind has ever known. I had been one of Oran's most powerful sorcerers, celebrated by our allies and feared by our enemies. I helped bring prosperity to my emperor's lands, destruction to his foes. And now I was a prisoner, my power gone with my sources. There was only one place the Terralands would send a prisoner as valuable as I: the pit. All right, what's up, fantasy fans? As always, I'm Shay from the channel Zachary Shay, where I talk about fantasy books, manga, comic books. And today I'm going to be bringing you a book review slash why you should read the War Eternal series, Book One, Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes. And I just want to take one. I usually am not, I don't obsess over covers, but when it's Felix Ortiz, I believe this is Felix Ortiz. That would be so embarrassing if it's not. Yeah, Felix Ortiz. Thank God. Um, so what do we have in The War Eternal, and what do we have in Along the Razor's Edge? So what you're getting with this book is a truly phenomenal female character, Iskara Helsing, as her and her best friend Yosef are imprisoned in the pit. They were sorcerers. This is all covered in the very first page. I will not spoil anything past that, but or anything past the first few pages. So the Iran Empire trained these two children up as powerful mages and sorcerers, and in the beginning of the book, you find out that their empire has been thwarted, and they are now being thrown in the pit. And you don't know why they're in the pit, and um, you, you don't know who are the good guys, their empire or the empire that conquered their empire, or none of them. Um, but I think the character of Iskara is so amazing. She is a wielder of multiple different types of magic in this book, and I think her friend Yosef, which is another main character in this book, is the talented one. Iskara is more of the one with the willpower to get it done. And as she's telling you this story, what one thing that I thought was very captivating about this book was the literary devices that Rob J. Hayes used, and the point of view he used. So it is first person, but she will often reference things that happened later in her life, because this is written as, like 50-year-old Ascara recounting 15-year-old Ascara's journey, but you also get a little bit of flashbacks into like 8-year-old Ascara and her being taken in by the Empire and trained. But the main storyline is her at 15, but it's being recounted by her when she's older. So there's multiple times throughout the book where she'll be like, "Oh, I wish I'd valued him back then," and then he became my greatest friend. So Rob J. Hayes is constantly spoiling things about the story as he's describing events, kind of in the way Christopher Rocchio does with Sun Eater. Like Ascara is actually speaking as if she's recounting events to a friend, very similar to how Christopher Buehlman does Black Tongue Thief. But instead of the way he writes it, he Rob J. Hayes drops in a lot of little foreshadowing to future events, almost spoiler level, but he keeps it vague enough to where even if you know something happens, you don't exactly know how it happens. And this is definitely a Grimdark series. This is a morally ambiguous protagonist, similar in vein to like Rin from the Poppy War, though I think she is way better done. I think she's the line between Nona Gray from Book of the Ancestor and Rin from the Poppy War. She's not as like Nona, while being morally gray, is like you could very easily root for Nona. Like she's morally gray, but she's the good guy, whereas Rin is morally gray and she's pretty bad. The Escaris, at least in book one, seems somewhere in the middle, but we're given foreshadowing that she's a monster and she's a demon. But um, there's also the sense that Escara is not a reliable narrator. She's telling them events as accurate as they are to her memory, but there are several hints, I think, throughout the book that while she is not intentionally unreliable as a narrator, the events are skewed by her emotions and her memories. So we're not getting a honest account. We're getting her honest account, but it's not the truest account of what happened. Um, And aside from Mascara, Yosef I thought was a really intriguing character, and I loved their dynamic. I thought the two brothers of Hart and Ison were pretty great characters. Hart, especially, I thought was very intriguing. Um, Yoren, the fighter guy, I thought he was really good. And the crazier old man, I forget his name. I just finished this today, but I listened to it on audiobook, so sometimes names can get a little jumbled when I listen on audio. And I would recommend these audiobooks. I think Moira Quirk is a phenomenal, honestly, along with Tim Gerard Reynolds, she is my favorite audiobook narrator of all time, point blank, period. And I really became enamored with her work when I read The Locked Tomb or listened to The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir. And I think that this is, if you're looking for strong, badass female characters that don't give a damn, then I think you would be doing yourself an injustice if you do not give Ascara Helsing a chance. I will be going on to read books 2, 3, 4, and 5 of The War Eternal. This is a type of book one that's so good that even if the next three are trash, I will probably finish the series. Just because I'm already invested after one book, and I don't think they'll be trash. I read this is my seventh book by Rob J. Hayes because I read his entire First Earth saga, and I don't think Rob J. Hayes has ever written a bad book. Um, yeah, and I actually think that I think versus book one of Ties That Bind, I do think Along the Razor's Edge is a better book one. But I really have enjoyed everything by Rob J. Hayes I've read thus far, and I'm very excited to continue this quintet. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. If you think that there is a better Grimdark female protagonist or just better Grimdark protagonist with this kind of first person narration, it also reminded me of Jorg at times, but she's nowhere near as dark as Jorg. But tell me who your favorite grimdark protagonist is, and if you've read this book, let me know. I absolutely loved it, and I'd be like so overjoyed to have somebody to talk to about this amazing series. Peace.